Hi peeps, I hope you are able to listen to me. I hope the audio is clear. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you can listen to me, if I'm audible. Okay, so let's get started. Today we will be making the cactus as I have already shared the images with you. Now you can go ahead with any of the colors that you would like, but for today I am going to use one of this really pretty green color and one of the blue colors. So these are the two colors I'll be using today, and I am planning to make the cactus of the green. So yeah, you guys can choose your own colors and get started with this thing. So for trinket tray image that I have shared with you guys, there is like a circular trinket tray, but I just thought of doing a little bit of twist to it. So I'll be using this particular cutter and I'll be cutting out few pieces in the shape of leaves. You can use almost any cutter. It's just a leaf shape cutter you have to use. If you do not have leaf shape cutter, you can also use your craft knife to, maybe do a free hand cutting of your leaves. It's completely fine. So I'm cutting a few pieces for the base because I am planning to keep the base as kind of a leafy structure. Also, this clay is Nara clay. I'm using Nara brand right now with me, and this is already conditioned. So if you guys are working alongside with me, make sure that your clay is conditioned. And at any point of time, if you feel like I'm going too fast, you can ask me to maybe wait or slow down so you guys can catch up. Okay, so here we have 8 petals, and I am running the rest of the clay through my pasta machine. So this is the remaining clay and I'll be cutting out a circular shape from this for our trinket base. So here is the circular cutter I'm using, and this is the base for our trinket tray. Okay, now the next thing is we will be doing a little bit of texturing for the leaves. Now there are two ways for going ahead with the texturing in this case. Either you can use your texturing tool and directly start texturing the way we do, like so. I'm giving it the form of a leaf. Or if you do not want to do it, like here is how it looks like. If you want an even finished look of your leaf, I have bought these molds from Amazon. And how do you use them is that you place one uh, below and then you put a petal on top of it. Then you just press them through. So here I am pressing it. And this is how our leaf looks. So it gives a very beautiful, real kind of a look to the leaf. That's why I'm preferring to use this right now. But you guys can also go ahead with the normal texturing in case if you do not have this one. So I'm going to be doing this for all of my leaves. Whenever you are pressing, make sure that you're pressing it a little bit harder so that you get the veins nice and clear. So here we have a really beautiful blue shade for the leaves. If you face any difficulties or if you're having any questions in your mind right now, you can ask me in the chat. So this is the last leaf. And here we have 8 different leaves for our base. Going to be keeping it here for a minute to clean up the surface. The petals were made around 3 mm thickness initially, and when you press them also, then also the thickness somewhere remains around 2 mm. It doesn't go lower than that. Okay, so here is the circular portion that we decided for the base. What we are going to do right now is that we are going to put it in center, and then we are going to arrange the leaves all around it. Now this is Nara, so I'm not really using a liquid clay for this, but if you feel like that your clay is kind of dry, then you can go ahead use a liquid clay as well. So I'm going to start with this leaf, placing it in center, then second leaf. You can also place them a little bit on the outer portion. So I am not really connecting them both at the center, because if I do that, the size will be extremely small. I don't want that smaller trinket tray. So I'm just going to use about, say, a little bit, maybe a half centimeter from the edge. I'm going to put my leaf, one of the petals, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the other petal. So this will give me a slightly bigger size when it comes to the trinket tray. So here are the 4 petals. Now what I'm going to do with these petals is that I'm going to put them on the top of the 2 petals, like so. So here we have arranged our petals. You can just press them slightly so that you know that they are sticking to each other well. Also, when we will be baking this thing, we will be putting a little bit of paper beneath these so that it makes kind of a bowl kind of shape. For that, I have also bought this bowl, so we can just see how it is going to look like. Let's take it off the acrylic sheet. So here we have our base, which looks really beautiful to me. So now what you have to do is you can place it inside this bowl. You can also choose a bowl that is slightly smaller in size. I think that will be better because this won't really give it that much of curvature. So yeah, you guys can use a little bit of smaller bowl to give it a nice curvature. Now comes the cactus. So for the cactus, I'm going to use this color. It's a beautiful green color. And just taking a bit of it. So it's not a very uniform portion. I'm going to cut out the sides so that I get a uniform size throughout the slab. So here it is. Now I'm not really going to make a very huge cactus. I'm going to make a very teeny tiny dish. So the cactus will be according to that only. I'm going to start folding my slab like so. And I'm feeling that this much of the thickness for the cactus will be enough. But I guess it will be too small. Let me just see. If we take this much of the height. And if we place it in the center like so. It might look okay. We can always press the clay in this manner to give it a little bit of curvature. And if you feel like, you can actually also add a few more leaves down below so that it has a little bit more space, but I'm just liking it in this manner, so I'm going to keep it this way only. Okay, so if I give you a side view, then this is how big our cactus length is going to be. I'm going to keep it like this only, this much only. Let's make the surfaces a little even. The size will be slightly increased when you start rolling it. No worries. So for the top of the cactus, I need slightly curve kind of shape. So I'm going to pinch it at the top, like so. And in a manner that it starts looking like a bullet. Just make sure that it is slightly pointed, and don't worry about this because we're already going to do some kind of texturing on it to give it a little bit more cactus kind of look. So don't worry about the connecting edge. So this is the center part. Now for the side parts, we are again going to use a little bit of green. Now, if you have noticed a cactus, if you actually take a closer look, you'll see that the arms are kind of thinner comparison to the main body. So we are going to use a little bit thinner section of our clay for the arms. Again, the arms will need to have a curvature on the top, and it doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, like, it is not really mandatory to have both the arms of the same size. So you can play around with that also. So here I'm going to make one arm smaller, like this size. Again, pointing the top of the arm. And the other one will be slightly longer. So this is one arm which we can place over here. And the second one we can place a little either on the upper side or we can do it on the lower side. I'm going to put it slightly on the above. Maybe push this one a little bit lower. So this is how it will look like. Now, the ends might not necessarily stay in place. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a little bit of this wire, which is a normal like ball head wire or just a normal, I think 18 millimeter gauge. I don't really exactly remember the size, but yeah, I'll share the link if you guys need it. But yeah, I'm just going to take a smaller portion of it. So this much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this part up, put it in the center like so, and then I'm going to push it into the main part like this. Okay, so while you're doing this process, always make sure that the other end is not coming out of this portion because that is not what we need. So here is the first part that we have attached to the main body. Now for the second part also we'll be doing the exact same thing. I'm going to use a smaller portion of wire this time and I'm going to push it into the main body. So if you want to secure it even more, you can maybe use a little bit of liquid clay when you are doing this part, but it's not absolutely mandatory. Okay, so here is our cactus. I'm just trying to push it a little bit forward because, or maybe I can just take it out and push it a little bit lower so that this portion can also be used to keep your, rings or something like that. So this is basically the aim for this trinket is kind of keeping your rings. So I'm crafting it considering that part. Now this is a cactus, not really very perfect, but okay, this should do. The next thing that we are going to do is, this is how it looks. It is going to look exactly the same from the back as well. And don't worry about these, we're going to fix them right now. So this is how it looks. And this is how it looks from the front. Now the next thing to do is to make sure that these are attached. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly push the clay onto the main portion ever so slightly. So just to make sure that the two clays are kind of combined with each other so that when you bake it, it doesn't come out. So here I have done it for this part. Use your thumb or index finger or whichever finger you're using for the rubbing purpose here. Then I'm going to do exactly the same thing for this portion as well. Very slightly just drag the clay like so. And don't worry about it not looking pristine right now because we are going to do the texturing anyway, so that will cover it up. Okay, so this is our small cactus that will go in the center of the tray. Now we are going to do the texturing. So for texturing, I'm going to use straight lines. Now you can use any texture tool for that matter. I'm going to use this one with the ball head that is medium in size. I'm going to just make a few straight lines to give it kind of a texture of the cactus. Again, doing the same thing on the hands as well. You do not have to be very perfect while making these, because if you actually look at the cactus, these are not something which are very geometrically aligned or something like that. It's just a very rough surface. So you just have to create kind of a rough surface with these kind of textures. So here is our front portion of the cactus, and the exact same thing I'm going to do for the back portion. Now I'm covering the sides. And this is how our cactus looks like. Just try to pinch it a little bit to make it look slightly thinner at some portions, so that your ring easily slides, because that is going to be the purpose. So it should look good and it should be functional. That's the aim. So here is our cactus. Let us see if we have enough of the space to maybe slide a ring or two. I'm going to use the same one. So here is my ring, and after baking it should be like able to carry the ring. So perfect. Okay, now I'm done with the texturing on the sides, and now to fix it at the center of this trinket tray, I'm going to use another wire like so. Push it in the middle portion. At this point of time, you can use a little bit of liquid clay to give it extra, stability, extra surety that it'll be in place. Or else, if your clay is kind of oily enough, then it should do already. You wouldn't require additional liquid clay. So this is our cactus. For finishing touches, you can always do it using your hands. Just push it a little bit so that it looks straight and it looks kind of the cactus that we want it to look like. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of texturing over here. I'll just show you in a minute, so that just a little bit of additional texture to give it sort of a... So what I have done is I have done a little bit of dotting over here, and the exact same thing I have done over here, to just give it a little bit of, more natural look. So this is how the cactus trinket looks like. I'm going to bake it, and then I'm going to share the pictures with you guys. You can make even more changes to it, maybe, add some kind of elements on the trinket tray itself. If not, then I think this should do. So this is our trinket tray. This is how it looks like. So this was the tutorial for today. I really hope that you guys like it. If you liked it, do let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want me to go ahead and do some kind of different small trinkets like this or any other polymer clay work live with you guys, then you can also comment that. I love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Till then, stay mindful and keep crafting. This is how it looks, by the way. Okay guys, thank you for being here. Bye bye. I'll see you in the next tutorial.